Smoking cigars and drinking.
Hey.
With my boy Dustin here. So, probably gonna get a little bit raspy, maybe a little bit gravelly. We're hanging out. Let's do the cliche. All right, we're smoking cigars tonight. It's been a while. These slide-offs, these are Black Market by AB with a crown. I don't know what that is. Hardly. Look at these jacked up fingernails too. The vinyl community can rewind and watch. But so that's the cigar we're smoking. It is what it is.
Tasty.
And this is a heavy metal-esque night, so we're gonna call it metal. But you know, it's not gonna offend the people who are just like, I don't know if I like heavy metal. But at the same time, it might offend the people who's like, that's not evil enough. So a happy median of metal coming straight at you. So let's get after it. What I was going to play initially, it's been a while since we hung out. I guess since we're doing the rigmarole of what's going on here. The drink of the night, very appropriate. I haven't seen my boy Dustin forever because of Corona. So Corona beers, familiar, family. Salamante?
Salamati.
Salamander panties. So I haven't seen Dustin in a while. In addition to, you've been traveling.
Yeah.
So what was it, Beirut?
No.
Where's
no?
that?
I see where that's going, and no.
I know.
I'm going to Oregon.
Oregon, Lebanon. Okay.
No.
That's not a place?
No.
Alright, so anyways, I thought this would be appropriate. I was going to play this, because once upon a time I picked this up at Lunchbox Records in Charlotte when we went to go see Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
And I figured this would be appropriate because, you know, a live recording, less chance you're gonna get, you're gonna get popped by the YouTubes. And then I figured, man, you know, it's New Zealand. It gives me a chance to give a shout out to my boy Metal Down Under Nathan. And to be honest with you, this bootleg, I have some bootlegs that sound dope. This sounds like doo-doo. I'm not gonna lie. Luckily, there's only 150 copies, so you're probably not gonna stumble this and make that mistake. I really do just think I don't think it's a soundboard recording. I think it's literally just like someone with a microphone in the audience, and it didn't come out that well. But anyways, this was gonna be a shout out, and so since I didn't go Maiden, I went Priest because this is a live concert. This is Battle Cry. This is pretty dope. I saw them on the Simpsonville, South Carolina leg of this tour. This is a spin in the background, and we're kicking off with side A. So it goes from Battle Cry to Dragonaut to Metal Gods, Devil's Child, and then eventually Victim of Changes. I don't know how much we're flipping, but Dustin hasn't been in chair for a while, so, and we got cigars lit, so maybe we'll hang out for a bit.
Having a good time. Having a good time.
But more or less, I might get to rambling and bambling, but this is technically one of my series of 5 fresh finds. I have more than 5 records here, but they all kind of segue into one or another, one topic, into the 5 fresh finds. We'll get around it, right? So, also, this Priest directly relates to supporting this album. And by the way, since Veronica's not in chair, I'm probably going to have you be my re-rapper. Okay? So I put this on so I could show the kind of metallic, reflective cover. Here's the gatefold guts, and lyrics. I just smashed myself in the face. I don't even know how to open a record. I'm a dumb dummy.
First time
For this. All right, so getting into the 5 fresh finds, also in the kind of the realm of doesn't rock enough. And I'm not trying to like segue. I bought this, so I'm certainly not trying to bash on it. This is pretty dope, and I'm not going to be that guy like, oh my god, can't show this. I'd like to think that no one's going to be a jerk enough in the vinyl community to report me over a tiny drawn areola. But this is Baroness, if you can't tell by the artwork. This is beyond all cool art. It kind of reminds me of Converge, the lead singer of the hardcore act. Is the same, that band member does all their work. This is an insert with more art from, what's the gentleman's name? I'm having a brain fart, and so I'll find it. John Dyer Baisley. He's the vocals, electric, and acoustic guitar. Lyrics, bells, glockenspiel, and the
glockenspiel,
and the Wurlitzer. But he also does all this art. This is sludge metal meets alternative metal. I will say that this is kind of all, my critique of this is that it's pretty cool. but it's all a little bit same soundy. This is the original sleeve.
What even is sludge metal?
Dude, don't put me on the spot on that.
There's so many different types of metal,
Like,
I can't even keep track.
It's not like speed metal or thrash metal. Like imagine like sludgy, kind of slowed.
Okay.
I don't want to say like chunky.
Does it have a chunky kind of sound?
Like soup. Yes, I like my metal like soup.
Like my distortion on my guitar.
Yeah, maybe I'll put a description there because I had a train of thought too, and you're asking me questions. I appreciate that though, because it's putting me on the spot and it's challenging me. But it's just like this is like, well, now I gotta know the answer to something I already know the answers to. Like that's not cool, because I was trying to like get to this point that I saw on Discogs that I'm not the only person that got one minus the label. So I guess that's a factory mistake. But I'm pretty sure it would have had a cool, unique center label, but it's not there. This is dope, and I figured I'd show in this when I was going to talk about the art. This purple, I completely lost my train of thought. I want to say, is this their 4th album? I'm going to have to put facts in with edited. Now you've doomed me to...
I derailed.
You've doomed me.
Derailed.
That's cool. This whole thing's going to be derailed, and we're not, I know there's some people have commented in the past, because since I'm being social and I have a drink or two when I'm making a video, although I very rarely have more than a drink or two, more than once or twice a week, that I must be like some raging alcoholic.
It's definitely
So
not
I know,
the case.
I mean, like, Vinyl Richie's my friend in the vinyl community. He has a real problem. I mean, I'll be honest with you, he's if he was a lady, I'd call him a lush. But so he's just intoxicated. He's intoxicated all the time, masturbating the images of his own feet. I mean, he's out there.
It's all right, Richie.
I'm just enjoying a beer, and once again we're back on that Bibb and Tucker. So a little nip of whiskey to go with the cigar. But this, you're not even on your job. You failed. Veronica would take so much pride in doing this. You're like, you B minus
Veronica.
You B minus Veronica, man. Oh my God, that's what she always makes fun of you because you're not all Mexican. So this is where I started with Baroness. This is in the shrink. I've actually pulled the shrink off and put it back on to look at all the fanciness of it. This is where I started with Baroness. It's more of the same. But what I was getting at, you got to give Baroness a couple spins because it's kind of same soundy and it didn't really grab me offhand. I really wanted to just like take off and get there. Mm-hmm. But through repetition, it's enjoyable. But I don't know, some of these albums kind of feel like they have the same length, the same tempo, the same vocals, and there's not enough differentiation from track to track. And also because of this art, some of these earlier pressings, like their Red album, and they're all named after colors, are all super expensive. I know when this one came out, they had a series of special editions that were broken down in quadrants. So then it's all said and done, this is 12 inches. You'd have a big giant 24 by 24 grid if you put them all together and have a massive piece of artwork. Cool. Which I think is just probably a dig to get you to buy more.
That's exactly
so you can buy 4
is.
copies of the same record. And they have different colored pressings, but I'm a weirdo. If I'm going to get the pressing, I want the album called Purple to be purple. So I don't think I need a whatever color copy of that.
I'd probably just take their word
and
for
then,
it.
if I'm not mistaken, since we're just blabbering here, this is a vinyl community hangout, so y'all forgive me. Is this the black one? No, this is the one. You see this side has an etching on it with this deer on the background? You're probably not going to be able to see that. But what's on the back of this is they put a lot of thought into their packaging and design, and they do a tremendous job. Alright, are you ready? We were just talking about before I started this out, I don't want to say proud we are of our vocabulary, but when we tend to get on this, it just becomes like word, dope, rad, cool, and all our linguistic abilities just plummet. And so I'm probably about to get back into that immediately. I was just about to say for the 150th time, like in the vinyl community, get down to the nitty gritty. So we're about to get down to the nitty gritty. Frank and Pharmacy Records had 2 collections coming at once. And I did a little bit of flipping before COVID, and I went back and someone was still left. But he had 2 collections that one was more late 70s to late 80s metal, hair, but the metal you'd expect, but then also like AOR, you know, radio-friendly stuff that kind of overlaps the prog, cheese metal, you know, hair metal, stuff like that, radio-friendly dork stuff, and more obscure. So one was a little bit more hard rock, and the other one was like kind of like sissy metal, you know. But you know, sissy metal can be fun. So there's some gems in there. Like this one I showed in the past, but this is what, you know, kicked it off. Like my friends that only hang out during metal updates, that's fine. But this is something I showed in the past, and a reason to flip, because this TT Quick is a super hard record to find. The whole punch aside, which doesn't hurt my feelings, this is pretty clean. I should take it out, but you see when we're well. But Mark Tornillo, the vocalist here, the vocalist went on to eventually become the vocalist for Accept. This Blind Rage, by the way, is also a dope album here. Maybe if I give it to you partially, does that work? Yeah, that's on Nuclear. Oh, yeah, Nuclear Blast.
Show.
Hot Facial. Yeah. I speak your language. I speak your languages. You know what I mean?
Paraphrase it.
Me hablo español un poquito. You know what I'm saying?
Farsi que me baladid.
A ball gagging me. You know what I'm saying? A couple more drinks, he might tease me. You know what I'm saying? But here we are. So segueing in, there's some things I just left behind. By the way, this guy and one of the collections are marked by, we had a blast once upon a time, and probably wasn't terrible. Some of our first videos. We're just like, oh, let's just be dumb. And we'd be hanging out, and then we just decided to make a video when we should be going to bed. And so we had some pile of hot shit videos in the past, I guarantee it. But we made fun of, remember Sam Petty? The petty individual who wrote his name everywhere.
Yeah.
And so we just bashed him. You know, joke's on me, because it turns out, like, every time I go to that store, he changes things in. He sold his collection, or continues to sell his collection to Horizon Records. It's all, like, really dope prog, garage, 60s psych pop stuff. So now, like, anytime I see Sam Petty's name written over stuff, I'm like, oh, I trust Sam Petty's opinion. Yeah. And so that's going to happen with this much more discreet individual. This guy right here, DC? If you can see that bro knows what's up. So this is a record I passed on multiple times. Mm-hmm. I like Montrose. Ronnie Montrose is an underappreciated guitarist. I always find this beat up. I assume this is kind of like Ohio Players, you know, in R&B realm. This probably got, you know, just because of the novelty of it being quite literally cheeky or cheesecake. I'm pretty sure that bros, you know, cut lines of cocaine and roll joints on this shit and use it as a beer ghoster. And these things are continuously jacked up. I like this. This is post Sammy Hagar. Most people are going to know it from, this is what I say when I have more than 5 finds. I just pulled some things to prove a point here. This is the second album by Montrose. And it's made famous because that era is the Sammy Hagar era. So people immediately are like, well, I approve of Sammy and he's a big name, so post-Sammy, I'm not about post-Sammy Montrose. And the first album, which I didn't even pull because I didn't need to go full overblown, is so 70s, like pink and yellow with like crazy script on it. Maybe I'll post a picture of it. So I was waiting for that to come in clean, and I grabbed it. But another thing I just pulled in right before that record, their third album, their first album without Sammy Hagar, I think this is the best era, or not best era, but the best album of Montrose. Personal opinion, and it might just simply be because this is the first one I dove into, and so you have that attachment first, and you dive into other things. Like, you know, if you were 12 in 1991, you're probably a Sammy Hagar Van Halen guy. But if you're 12 in 1980, you're undeniably going to be a David Lee Roth guy.
Right.
Or, you know, if you're a guy like me who had that bridge the gap, you know, I'm 37 right now. Hey, I don't know, because I wasn't 12 in the you know, I was 12 in the early. I don't know. My dad was a big David Lee Roth fan, so I like both eras of Van Halen, and I'm just completely blown past the point, the topic. Anyways, this is my favorite Montrose. It ties into a Montrose fresh find, and then another thing from this collection. This is really, really clean. This promo copy is Gamma. This is the band that Ronnie Montrose started after he left his self-titled band Montrose. And Montrose went on to drop an album in 1987. I have no familiarity with, so I can't speak on that.
Right.
But there's 4 albums, essentially, four albums? 4 albums. So there's
Hercules.
well, I caught myself in the middle because I was doing my math in the middle because they had 4 albums and 2 eras with 2 albums each. So somewhere in there, there's a 3.
Split the difference.
Split the difference. So, but after he left it, this is 78, 79. Yes, this is 79. This is a promo copy on a pretty cool, and you can see how clean some of these records are in this collection. This individual really, I took some risk with some of these buying of what I think might be cheese ball, corn ball, or AOR-ish stuff, just because it was uber clean and the price is right. But this Gamma, if this description makes sense, this sounds like 1979. You know, it's kind of overproduced.
Yeah.
The vocals are whatever. And the closing track on the side B, which you think has the most gusto, Fight to the Finish. It almost has like an electronic, like 90s like cell phone ringtone that starts the song off with. That is kind of irksome, to be honest with you. And it's a weird way to end it. But, you know, they have tracks like Thunder and Lightning, Razor King, No Tears, Solar Heat, and none of them deliver on the titles.
None.
But that's an awesome album cover.
No Tears.
And they had 2 and 3, but I said, you know what? I was told I was shooting the breeze with some with a older cat there, and he's like, yeah, their best album is their first album's their best album. I was like, well, it's also their best album cover. So I'll start there, and if I love it, I'll shoot back or double back the next day. And I think I'm content. My Gamma collection is complete with Gamma 1, to be honest with you. But that's pretty cool art. All right. Also in this DC collection, this is just a one-off. I showed a cluster of things because one thing tied to each other, but essentially this is 5 Fresh Vines. I don't know how to pronounce this. Is this Ballantines or Ballantines? I don't know because it reads like it's Latin, but this is a German one-off EP. So this is actually fairly rare. This is on Noise Records. Once again, there's a little bit of baby ringware right here. This guy really took care of his stuff. So this must have been really a player for him, for this to have some ringware, because all the stuff I left behind that I really didn't care about too much was exceptionally clean. And on that Noise label right there, you don't see every day. And once again, if you see how glossy and flawless these are, I mean, these are very well kept. So, dead mint on the wax, but of course, not so on this jacket. And I kind of made a flurble in a recent video. Veronica and I were having a back and forth, and I lost my train of thought, kind of like I did earlier today, because we're just engaging in conversation.
Right.
But I was trying to make a point to, like, day and age and condition. Like, is this dead mint? No. But when you get to a record that's 30 years old, I don't know, I kind of value a record that, even if it's not dead mint, you kind of give it that age lean. You're not supposed to. But, you know, there's so many things like comic books. They forgive an extra tick or two if it's older. And then it got to the point where, like, when you're grading things, like, is it... And first of all, anything dead mint's got to be... True dead mint is sealed. It's never even been played. So near mint, to me, still should be in the shrink. I know people just rip shrinks off, but if you're gonna, especially if it had a hype sticker or whatever, so it's just one more thing. But do you forgive a hole punch or a notch? Because everything used to have them. Yeah, and like it's like back in the day, comic books, like it was so commonplace for tape that they like CGC grading, they look past tape on comic book, like old comic books. But if a kid had the wherewithal to re-staple in the exact same spot or use glue discreetly, you're somehow penalized for that. Anyways, this comic book grading, neither here nor there. This right here, also these bros, this is an EP. They went nowhere. This is all they ever did, and you're gonna know where they went nowhere when you see what these bros look like. We'll get into that in a minute, all right? Because I gotta, you know, my boy Aaron, the Metal Theologian, he lives for this shit. But I like how they say the track 1 is hello, and it's basically like, you know, hello, we're here to rock, we're back again. Back again? Where were you to begin with? And like, you should have named this hello, you should have said goodbye, because their career was over. And of course, they have a track right after that, In Chains, because that's very metal. You know, very 1985 is the year on this. In Chains is very appropriate, you know, like, you know, like Maiden, you know. But so, White Line Power? That's how they close track 1. So you look at this dude, he's got the coke jaw right there. So you know this bro is like, and then this dude, you know, he looks like he's ready to earn some cocaine. this guy's the guy making people do creepy stuff where I didn't mean to point to his junk. I apologize. I was just drawn to it. But you want to look
the
at
guy in the door on the front?
Oh yeah. We'll get to that.
Background,
I haven't got those.
What's going on with that guy in the middle?
You got. That's my point. We're talking about this long. You gotta buy this. All right. So, anyways, we got a unibrow in there because he's German. Doesn't give a shit. Taking these gentlemen. Look at your baby mustache. Just it looks like a soy sauce stain. You know, he's drinking a dark beer and didn't wipe it away. But these guys, and look at the love line and soft midsection with whatever that jacket is. That being said, okay, track aside to We Are the Rock. We are the roll. That's just like 80s. That's how We Are the Rock.
Yeah,
we're here to rock. All right, they're charged. And then Storm Will Be Rising is how they closed out. So this is a 6-track EP. I thought this was going to be a joke, I'll be honest with you. I can't do all these records in one night. I'll probably bash on similar stuff in a near future when I get around to showing more metal stuff. I'm overdue to show love to my metal brethren around here that I always watch. Like Brendan Von Doom's a great dude who always watches and comments whether I'm showing metal or not. Or the Gray Man is awesome, and I always watch his channel because we comic book nerd out.
Show love.
Yeah, you gotta love it. But so I'll be honest with you, there's other ones I listened to, and they were like it's kind of doo doo. And I know I bought an album cover, and whereas like this one right here, this charge, you gotta buy this guy right here getting electrocuted. And I like that he's getting electrocuted in his leather jacket. That's priceless.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what this creep is. He made the observation on that in the background. But when do you find this? So had to buy it. Love the art. Surprise, rockin'. All right. So that's that. That's one of those little gems that you're just happy to stumble in that you're gonna find when someone trades in their whole collection. And that was amongst a whole bunch of just like I'll pass on it, overplayed 80s rock. I don't need any Foreigner 38 special in my collection. I still have a couple cassettes.
You're set.
If I get nostalgic, I'll do that. All right, so let's get down. I'm closing it out here, and then we just hung out for one side of 4 sides. We're not gonna get that far, but so let's.
That vocal right there.
Nice, good call out. I shut up just in time for that, and a solid drum finish.
Yeah.
And then so you know what? I might just take a sip of this drink here, and then I'll pause and they'll catch us on the B side because they're closing out strong.
Real strong.
Yeah, Brother Phil and I saw them in Simpsonville, and I forget what the rundown was on that, but it was something of another a show got canceled because of inclement weather or something. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, in Florida, so they didn't have to, but they just shoved a day in South Carolina on short notice. So I didn't have to go anywhere, which was awesome because I was going to go see him in Georgia, or maybe it was a Georgia show that got canceled. I can't recall, but I only had
just right out the way.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
So and they killed it, and it was right around Halloween, so they did a little thing that was unique for Halloween.
That's cool.
For that. But anyways, let me catch you on the B side. All right, we're back on the B side, and then let me get looking here. Where are we?
Loving the energy if they're starting with here.
The B-side, Halls of Valhalla, so this is newer stuff. Redeemer of Souls, Beyond the Realms of Death should be the B-side here. So if you guys skip this to this point or miss something, that's the spin in the background. Hopefully we don't get popped. It's live, so it should slip through the cracks. All right. So we've talked about this in the past when you were on this channel, if anyone was around back then. I'm replacing stuff that I had on CD and cassette back in the day. I don't want to be redundant for people that watch this channel. So some of these things I'm just getting around to as it comes around. So, I had this back in the day. It's Sabotage. I don't think I need to talk about it too much. This is post, originally, I think this would have been when they were past Vertigo. Was it TMS or not EMS? I can't recall. Now I gotta post something. I'll recall. But, so is it original? No. Is it cool as like some old, early Vertical Swirl? No. The claim to fame on this, besides being super clean, there's a little ding right here. There's a little surface dust that'll wipe away, a little, like, surface grime. That can wipe away super easy. It's a gatefold repress 1996 Italian pressing on translucent clear. So that's pretty cool. It's on Earmark. I just picked it clean. Does this sound like some MoFi or audiophile quality pressing? No, but it's dope. It was a Gap. I found a nice copy in good condition, so I just snagged it and I'm replacing the gaps that I used to have. So I'm more familiar with this, and so now it's kind of cool to revisit, but I've been buying all sorts of random stuff. Alright, I've always loved this album cover too, and I had this on, I don't believe I had this on CD, I think I had this on cassette, because this image, at least look at the small one, look at the man camel toe, that's fantastic, but not actually fantastic if it was like in my presence, but just like to him to think like this is
the cover.
Just for him to think that's a good look.
Yeah.
But I love that like, this kind of like almost like, it's a mirror, but it's almost like interdimensional, like they're passing through the mirror. Maybe I'm just like looking way too in this. I swear we haven't been eating acid or mushrooms. But just a cigar. We're high on tobacco. But all that brilliant. Look at this kind of kimono blouse that Ozzy's wearing, just looking depressed for no reason. But and you see the image, and then backwards this is kind of mirrored. But I have this on cassette because you just have the flap and you don't have the back cover like you would with a CD. I never was really familiar with this back cover. And so what's great is you can actually see 1 foot up for Ozzy, and he's actually stepping through this kind of like dimensional portal mirror picture frame type thing. And other things, you can see hand in the pocket and different posture right here, so they don't quite match, which is brilliant. But besides the soft belly button, on the back, you can actually see his little man tights are see-through, and you can see, it's probably not going to come through, you can see his little checkered girly underwear.
You definitely can.
Which is the type of gems like I never knew when I had this on cassette back in the day. So Black Sabbath, I guess I could have talked about at least one single track on this album and bypassed that to talk about man panties and what have you. But yeah, this is a good album that was a gap, and I filled that gap. A no-brainer. And then to tie it out, I figure if you're going to go Ozzy Sabbath, you might as well finish off with some solo Ozzy.
Yeah.
I had this on cassette and no more. What's nice about this is that this is an OG jet pressing. Once again, really clean. This has a little surface dirt that I just gave it a wipe. I haven't given this like a spin cleaning yet. But no real abrasions, lightest baby surface scratches. You can tell that this guy, same collection, this is probably one of his most played records. Like, this is not beat by any means, but comparatively speaking to some of the stuff in the collection, especially what I left behind,
right.
I mean, this is beat to death compared to the way he kept his other stuff. If you don't know, the claim would be on this is Mr. Crowley, and my favorite cover of all time is a bro named Juan the Beast. Maybe I'll leave a link or do something, or maybe I can get away with editing. I don't want to steal someone's work and put it in my video, but maybe I will. Who knows? But this guy, Juan the Beast, Mr. Crowley's like this song that should just like reek of paranoia. Right. And there's this sweaty, fat Latin bro, and I say that complimentary. I'm a big bro myself, but he's just like Mr. Crowley. And he's just like out there, and when he gets to the end, it's like comes this like massive crescendo, and he's just like sweating as he like hammers out the notes, and it just like reeks of like paranoia and fear. It's just some bro in like a recording studio in his basement. It's not like someone else like doing homage to it's not like Motorhead doing Ozzy.
Yeah.
It's not like why am I having a brain fart right now? The Motorhead Ozzy song. I just used it and then it just slipped out of my mind because I was trying to think of what the next song is. That's how my brain works. But Hellraiser. All right, thank God. I was like, that was gonna piss me off. I got there. But speaking of got there, we got to 30 minutes. I don't think we're talking about anything special right now. We're just hanging out, showing metal, all sorts of shit out here. While I'm at it, I'll show one more thing that I wasn't planning on showing. Just happened to be here. Look at these sweet row of vans on the E100 sides. But I know Ron Haggerty showed Fu Manchu recently, so I'm closing out with a Ron Haggerty a shout out if anyone made it that far. But rock on. Thanks for hanging out. Dustin hasn't been in chair for a while. Cheers, sir. Give me one of them. Make sure the tips touch so we get Corona.
That's how.
Anyways, Dustin and I are just here touching tips. So you guys have a good night. Take care. Be well. Rock on. Be good to your neighbors. One love.
Approaching a time that is glassy. I hear the